Hi, this is Clark and I'm pleased to present you the version 2.0 of the Flarum and WordPress integration. Thank you everyone who bought the plugin in those last few months and gave me feedback. This new update should address most of the feedback I received, and I hope you like it. Don't hesitate to send me other emails if you have other ideas or if you have issues with this. I will go through what's new, and so you can see it in this video, and this way you have a better idea of what changed. This will also serve as an update. There was an older video, but it didn't show all the features, so I will try to just do a little round of all the features that are currently in the extension. Let's go through first just the upgrade instructions. There are a few special things, so you need to download the new WordPress plugin. Just replace the kilowatt Flarum folder with the new zip file. This was like other updates the Flarum extension with Composer. Now there is just one additional feature here. If you update, you will see it will automatically install the back office extension, so you need to enable this before continuing. So you have the WordPress integration that has its own entry, and you will have a new back office, just enable it. And then there will be a button here in the WordPress extension that opens the settings of WordPress in the back office. This is just for technical reasons I had to use this new interface because it gave me access to some components I had already written for other extensions. Then you can run the migrate and cache clear commands. They should not be absolutely needed because there is no change to the database, but just to be safe. And then one last thing, there is a command to run. So you need to use that command and run it on the PHP, on the command line with PHP on the Flarum server. So just like other Flarum commands, you run PHP Flarum, the migrate command here. It will tell you what's about to be done, and you need to say yes here and press enter. And there will be checkboxes here that say what has already been done, and it will only do it once. So you can run the command as many times as you need. You can see here everything is already done. This is just some settings that moved from Flarum to WordPress and from WordPress to Flarum. And this command is required to copy the values of the settings. Maybe just one setting to point out is the actor. Previously there was a value on the WordPress side, now it's on Flarum side. Here you can choose a default user that will be assigned to the discussions and in the log. If you have another extension of mine, like if you have the audit log extension, this user here will be logged as who edited the discussions. You can actually put anyone, but it's best to put an admin just for compatibility with other Flarum extensions. Here it's a search box, so you can clear the value, and if you wanted to put, for example, here I have a user, I can select someone, but I will just leave here my admin account here. When you first install the extension using the wizard, it will automatically put your own user here. Next feature, so I have improved the security. You will not really see anything visually, but previously if someone stole the secret token, they basically had admin access on Flarum and WordPress, and so you had to compromise one of the websites first, but it's not good if compromising one website means both are compromised. So in this new version I have completely rewritten the system. Now the special token, which is here and also on the WordPress side, it only allows synchronizing discussions and users. You cannot use it to perform any other action. So that's the big change. So if you were using this token for anything else, it will no longer work. You need to create an actual API key in Flarum or in WordPress. This is just now a shared token for synchronization. There are some new login methods. So if I go in the SSO tab, now there is a new setting here. You can choose cookie is the feature that was always there, but now you can choose redirect or hidden iframe. I think the name, if you know how this works, the names are pretty clear, but so cookie, it sets a global cookie on the top level domain, and that cookie can be read from WordPress and Flarum, and this way Flarum can automatically connect. Redirect doesn't use a cookie, it just redirects all the time after login, so it's not easy to see. Visually for the user it's mostly the same, but I can just show you. You can see from the development tab here. So if I take one of my users, so I will just use this one. If I connect here, and if I look at the network tab, you will see that when you log in, first it opens up. So this was WordPress login. It redirected to Flarum here, and then it redirected back to WordPress. So if you have a good internet connection, you will not notice anything, but it's a bit slower for login, but it will work on any domain name. So even if the domain names don't have a common top level, it will work. The other new method is iframe. So this one, it still needs testing. It's supposed to work well for cross-domain, but actually, because it still uses cookies, it's not perfect, but it works. So you can try it and see what works best for you. The benefit of the iframe solution is that there is not this redirect after the initial login. And it also allows to not instantly start a session on WordPress, on Flarum. So let me show you how it works. So when you connect in iframe mode, here we don't have this additional redirect, it just opens WordPress. And now if I go to the forum, let's close this. If I use the forum link on WordPress, now I'm not automatically connected, but there is this pop-up that will come up. It will say your WordPress name, and just in one click you can connect. So I call this instant login pop-up. So now if I just click here, it refreshes the page and we are already connected. And the benefit of using the iframe is that here you can configure a redirect. So if your connection is fast enough, you can say if the page loads in less than that many milliseconds, it will automatically log in without asking the user. So problem is you don't always know how long the page will take to load. So that's not always triggering. Here, if I go back to Flarum, let's see if it will trigger. No, so if I refresh one more time, maybe it will take less than 1 second to load. Yeah, it really depends how big your JavaScript is on the forum. Yeah, I can't even get it to trigger now. Demo effect. A bit stupid. You don't want to put it too high because then people might start interacting with the page. So here you can see I just opened the page and it refreshed and logged in my user. But yeah, you can only do that if your JavaScript loads very fast, because otherwise it will be annoying to have the page redirect after 1 or 2 seconds. If you don't want this feature at all, you can just put 0 and then it will never redirect. It will just always show the little instant login pop-up. There's another new login related feature. You can now check here to open the login as a page instead of pop-up. So if I show you the default here, so when you try to log in from Flarum, so if I go to Flarum while not connected, it will open the Flarum login with all the options, and then there is a link to open WordPress, and it opens on my second screen and it uses a pop-up. You already had the option to only allow WordPress, then in that case the login button here would immediately open the pop-up. The new setting is to open a page instead. So now if I refresh and I use the link, now it will open the login, the WordPress login in a page, and then I can, just like before, just put the credentials and it will redirect back to the page you were on. I'm on a post, I can even click the reply here, it will open the box, I log in and it will go back to the page it was on. Other new feature, I made some improvement to the cross-origin support, but it's still not perfect, sadly. But I added a section in the documentation. Here you can click and you will have all the explanation of everything I know that you might need to change. So some of the things are automatically done by the extension now. For example, it sets it sets a CSP header on the iframe to automatically allow the iframe to be loaded. but there are still some things you need to change manually, like the Flarum cookie config. And yeah, so you can go through here. It says what you might need to change on your web server to get things to work. But sadly, in private browsing, the browsers have very strict restrictions and not everything works well. So if you can keep everything under a single top-level domain, it will work in many more places. But yeah, here now you have a section in the documentation about this. New feature, the role to group synchronization. So this was also well requested. So this new feature here is at the bottom of the SSO tab here. You can choose to match a WordPress role with a Flarum group. And this way you can give some permissions automatically on the Flarum side based on what the user has access on WordPress. And it should also work with any WordPress plugin that gives you roles. So if you can buy a role with a plugin, it will also be synchronized now to Flarum. So here I manually created a group that has the same name, but you can do any combination you want. So first you go to the permission page in Flarum, you create as many groups as you want, just like you can do natively. You can give them some permissions or just use them for visual aesthetics. And then when you go in the SSO tab here, you can create some configuration. So you start with nothing here, you can choose a WordPress role. The list is automatically pulled from your WordPress site, so you might have more options. And you might see those options in the language of your WordPress. Here it's automatically pulled in the default language. Right now I just have English, so it's in English. So here you can choose, so for example here I had made so subscriber and I wanted to give them a group called subscriber in Flarum. And I can, so it's already saved because it was what I had before. And then it will automatically assign and unassign this group. So it's best to have some groups that only serve for, that's only automatically assigned. And maybe don't give admin or moderation because, yeah, just to be sure, not so you don't accidentally lose them. And also if somehow someone manages to abuse the roles on WordPress, it doesn't give them access to automatically to big roles on Flarum. And the way it works, so here I have subscriber that get this badge and my user here, you see, so right now if I find this user on WordPress, this user is a contributor. Now if I put them subscriber and save, now they have the subscriber group. Another big feature is the new forced synchronization that you can manually trigger from the command line. So previously, if you had a lot of existing posts that didn't have a comment thread, you had to disable and re-enable the commands on every one of them. Now there is a command to do that, and it also handles users. And it's not only for new installs, it's also if somehow you had some missing data. So let me show you how it works. So if you take this command and let's go here on my Flarum. So the command that I gave in the docs is the help command. So if you just run this, it will tell you what you can do with this command. Here you have the list of parameters. And the best idea is to first run the command with try mode. When you use try mode, if I call it correctly, it's try run. So try run, it will run the command but not actually do any change to the database. So it gives you an idea of what will be done without touching anything. And the way the extension works, it will scan all the IDs, it starts at 1, and then it only stops when it finds 50 not found IDs. Maybe that's not a good solution for you. You can customize the range of IDs with parameters to the command. Here you can see some posts, it didn't do anything, probably because comments are disabled. And other posts, here it will always update the first post if there is one. And posts in WordPress are used for other things. So in white here we have everything that's not actually a post. Maybe it's a draft or it's something else from WordPress. And yeah, you can see how it will work if I, for example, go to disable the plugin for a little while. So if the integration is disabled and I make a new post, so post while disabled. So let's just do something like this. So I created a new post in WordPress, but it will not be visible here in Flarum. So it's not always sorted here, so it's not here because the plugin is disabled. And even if I go back to enable the plugin, it doesn't automatically sync the post. So if I run the command here, so it will again scan everything, and it should be post 50 something here. Yeah, so if I stop the command early here, just you can see post 61 would create a discussion. And what we can actually do here is just, if we want to run not on everything, I can say from ID. So for example, I want to scan from post 50 and go to post 70. I can run the command like this. And if I don't put try run, now it will actually do it. So it will scan 50 to 70. And here it said that the discussion was created. So now we should see it. How did I call my thing again? Post while disabled, it's here. So now it's just been created a few seconds ago. So you can import things like that. And it works the same way for users. So if you use the users command, you could also have try run, and it will tell you what's going to happen with the users. Here nothing to do because all the groups and everything is already correct. A small new feature now, when you toggle the SSO and comments feature, it automatically toggles in Flarum as well. So if I go here, for example, if I disable the comments integration, you will see in the WordPress settings that it's been automatically disabled. And if I enable it again, it will automatically enable back in WordPress. So that's one less click you have to do if you need to disable the feature temporarily. And there was no change to how the comments feature worked, but just so you see it in this video. So if I go to this post that we just created, you will see that the comments are integrated in an iframe and you can directly interact with it. It looks like the mobile view of Flarum. The CSS is a bit different from the default view, but you have access to all the regular features. So here we have the model, so I can just post my comment, and if you click on the comments here, it opens the full page on the forum. And that's it for this update. Give it a try, let me know how it works, talk to you on the forum or just send me an email, and have a nice day.